And we're live.
You asked me yesterday that you, or more rather, I already fucked up the quote. Nah, from Breaking Bad. No, but you said to me yesterday that you would never understand the game of chess.
The game of what?
The game of chess.
Oh, right. Yeah. No,
But
I. Yeah.
you do, don't you? How can the king move?
The king can move like a pawn, except for in any direction.
Yeah. Uh, and what about the knight?
Knight can move. Uh. What the fuck is it? Two up and one to the right or left?
Yeah, diagonal.
Yeah.
And what about
But man,
the
like, we
the
didn't come
rook?
here.
The rook. What
What's the
about the
rook
rook?
thing? Is that a tower?
Yeah, or the tower.
Can move straight.
And
But we
and
didn't
the
come
and the
here to
bishop.
talk
The last
chess.
the last thing is the bishop and the queen.
The bishop can move diagonally, and the queen can move also can move in any direction. Queen is actually the most powerful piece on the board.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh,
So
right.
so I don't get why you
But
said that you didn't know the rules of it.
no, me neither, man. Just gotta check the levels here again. Seems like we're doing good. Um, right,
Damn, that is
right.
too. That is too.
Like, I wanted to know, like, like me and my co-host here, Troy, young
With a
young
beard
young
again.
Troy. Yeah. Have just watched the first episode of The Wire together.
Yeah.
And
Oh shit.
I have like said before that I had like a split decision in my head that The Wire or The Sopranos was the best show in the world. But I've after having watched the entire series of The Wire like 3 times, I think,
This
then
I'm
I
just gonna I'm
can
just gonna roll without a webcam because
then
my
I can easily
cam.
say that The Wire is the best show because it focuses on both sides. It focuses on the side
Yeah, but
from both the criminals and the police, while The Sopranos kind of like only focuses on things from Tony's perspective.
so does Breaking Bad in a way.
So does
Yeah.
Breaking Bad in order, and
Although
the Breaking Bad don't. Well, not that's not entirely true because
no,
we see
well,
things.
because we have in Breaking Bad the Hank
Yeah,
Schrader is more portrayed like the anti-hero.
yeah, but he's uh,
Um,
but he's still but he's still portrayed at least, right? They could have chosen to
no,
just go with like some almost invisible detective like character, and then the character of Walter White and Gustavo Fring would just be rolling all over that. So so
um,
so now he is there, but it's not portrayed as much from
no, there's no
Hank's.
focus.
Yeah, there's no focus on it. Like, if they were going to make this like on this level, then they should have like made like half a season or an entire season from Hank's perspective. Maybe that's even been in
No,
the talks when they made the show, but they have just realized.
which is what happens in The Wire.
Yeah,
I feel after having seen the first episode because
yeah,
there we have both the focus from the detectives, like we have the main character McNulty, who is who's sitting there and he's seems quite fed up with this, and he got a boss who's a super dick. So
yeah, yeah,
we sympathize with him as much as we sympathize with Walter White. But on the other side of the law, we have what is his name, Stringer,
Yeah, Stringer.
portrayed by Idris Elba,
Yeah,
whom we also kind of have a
yeah,
little sympathy for because we see how he runs his drug empire, his drug ring,
yeah.
and we kind of I don't know, man, but
Yeah.
like we do get both sides of it at least.
Yeah, and you know, like what the Wire also like makes perfectly clear at a later stage is, you know, I think it's like the last season of the Wire or something that shifts the focus onto high school kids in Baltimore, where you kind of like get to know where people like Stringer and Avon comes from, right? Because if you grow up in the hood, like we've talked with like Joshua, you know, remember our friend from South Africa,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
That if you
Cool
grow
guy.
up in a hood where there is no money, no jobs, and the only means to survive is to do something criminal, right? Or the only means that you know of, then most likely this is the path that you're going to follow when you grow up.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no way that if you're like a 10-year-old kid in the slums of Joburg or the hood of Baltimore, that you're going to think that yeah, for sure, man, like I can totally be the president of America or a lawyer or a doctor.
No,
No,
no.
you will end up like that guy, Ronnie Moe, right? You will end up like Ronnie Moe, who's like
Yeah.
the 16-year-old dealer in The Wire, um, because that's what you know of, right? And like I know that you haven't seen that much of it, but it comes at a point in The Wire or something at a later point where he actually says, you know, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? Because this is what he knows. And Stringer and Avon has just like been smart enough to avoid detection by the police and to move up and, you know, like seize control over the city, right? But as you later will see in the show, where Avon foreshadows it with that you cannot plan for contingency in the drug business. Remember,
No.
like anything can happen. Like you could be hit by, like, you know, like a bullet by a drive-by or anything, or a moment of weakness where you're sick. Like he says, like how are you know you're never gonna be sick? How are you never gonna be late? You can't.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like definitely a good show, well thought out, and good lines with tons and tons and tons of A-listers who have gone through this show. And, you know, like I just noticed that Michael B. Jordan, that was the kid that we saw. Remember the dude that was like getting shit for like taking the fake money?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was fucking
yeah.
Michael B. Jordan.
Holy shit.
Right? Because like I thought that, like, you know, like he had to be young, since he's 33 now, so he would have had to been like in his early teens when this show was filmed.
Yeah, wow. It's just also so interesting to see all the different, like we got Lance Reddick in there, who's going to be in John Wick later. We got the guy from The Walking Dead. What's his name?
Yeah, Gabriel
Can't
from
remember.
Walking Dead. Yeah,
Father
yeah,
Gabriel.
yeah,
Uh, so many different A-listers, different personalities that we have that started out in The Wire,
yeah,
which makes it again like probably. I mean, it's not the only reason why it is such a great show, but it is definitely a big part of it, I think.
yeah. You know, like I gotta like say that Lance Reddick. What did you say his name was? Like Lance Reddick or Lance Reddick?
Lance Riddick type of thing.
Right. Gotta say that that guy don't age.
Oh, it's Reddick or
Yeah,
Lance Reddick.
that
Yeah.
guy don't age. I mean,
No, no.
he looks completely the same now in John Wick as it did back then in 2002.
He has a very what call it rectangular head almost.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like it's very stretched, almost like that. The painting
Like,
from Edvard Munch from Norway, the
yes,
Scream. If you've
yes,
ever seen it, like
like
his face is like stretched downward.
like that guy could definitely have played the Slender Man.
Yeah, definitely. Fuck. It's funny that you actually mentioned that because I tried that game just yesterday actually, just out of the blue because I was watching these Markiplier videos. A big shout out to Markiplier. Not that he needs it because he already has over like 8 million subs,
Yeah,
but yeah, like Markiplier doing all this horror vids and stuff, and then I was like, sure, I don't know, like I have Slend. I think it was because I just had the game on my computer, so then I tried to just play it once more.
yeah.
Got
But
like I think I had got to like 2 pages until he already caught me. I
yeah,
mean, it's that game is so you definitely can't play it when you're drunk.
no, definitely not. But
You need to be focused.
I want to ask you, like, did you understand that like the entire first episode is an intro to what's coming?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
because
I mean, like most shows.
let's systematically go through what happened in this first episode. Um, like it begins that we're like seeing Detective McNulty in the courtroom, right? And like as like as to like completely opposite to him, like on the right across the aisle where he is sitting in the courtroom, there is his nemesis, Stringer, who's running this criminal empire, right?
I'll just while you summarize, I'll go get some more
No,
snack.
right,
So be right
and
back.
then yeah, and then they are there, like like adversaries sitting there across each other and watching this courtroom charade happen, where we have a guy that wants to testify on one of like Stringer's or a woman who wants to testify against one of Stringer's dealers, right? For the murder of another person. But as like we see, then the two witnesses are just being intimidated the shit out of, and there is that comes up later. Really brilliant point that was coming up there, because I told Troy when we were watching it, why why would they let these people stay in the courtroom? But that was obviously because that's the law. You can't deny access to a public trial. So from there we go on to like see that the case falls apart. The judge have like really no other choice but to dismiss the case, since the two witnesses are suddenly like retracting their statements, and Stringer is like again satisfied that like shit worked as planned, and also to be mentioned that the guy here on trial was Stringer's partner's Avon's cousin. So maybe he he went through like the extra mile to be sure that this guy got off the hook. But there we have it, right? That how this shit is going down, right? And we are already posed to see what kind of force the detectives are up against here. because they are smart. They are not acting out of like emotions. They're cold and calculated, thinking about every move that they make and what action that is going to bring, right? Um, yeah, just like really well executed, really well detailed show that they even like put down, you know, like that the law states that they can't deny these guys access to the courtroom, or these gangbangers access to the courtroom because, you know, like they're not making a fuss. They're just sitting there, even though they're being intimidating AF just by sitting there. Now, really good, man. I'm wondering, like,
Yeah.
are you back, Troy? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
back. And then like how is it like moving forward, and we're like introduced to the characters, and why shit hits the fan for McNulty is because the judge in the trial is like noticing that Detective McNulty is sitting in the courtroom and that the case is falling apart and that he had no choice to dismiss it. So he calls McNulty in because apparently they are old time buddies. And he kind of like wants to know like what the shit happened, right?
Yeah.
Why is a solid case with two state witnesses all of the sudden falling apart? And McNulty decides to share details about other cases and how these people have, like Stringer and Avon, have been like running under the radar for the last year and running most of the drug trade in Baltimore, right? And that's you did catch that, right? That like that's why he got so much shit from his dick boss at the police department. Because
why?
Because like he told the judge this, right? And you know, like a judge holds a lot of power, right? Especially in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So probably what had happened when McNulty went home or back to the station is that this judge has been like, what the fuck is going on, right? And then he has placed some calls, and eventually, you know, like the call to the police department and McNulty's boss and McNulty's bosses, right, asking what's going on, right? Why are these people walking free? Why is this happening? Why are you not doing your job, right?
Yeah.
And this is like why he was pissed, because like McNulty had been sharing case informations with the judge because he mentioned, you know, like specific dates and specific killings. Maybe not specific dates, but he mentioned specific cases where people had been killed and that these people were responsible for it, and that they had walked every time it had happened. Like I think he said something like 3 cases just the last year or something, all murder cases, all walked, because they had done the exact same thing, you know, like intimidating witnesses, showing up at the courtroom, killing witnesses, you know, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you know, like that's the kind of like force that they're up on, and eventually, what's going on is that the bosses here in the police departments are putting together a task force to take them down. Hence, Lance.
Reddick.
Yeah, hence Lance Reddick, right? That he's there. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on, right? And they're putting together this task force. And Lance Reddick's character is just like thinking, like we saw there in the end, that no problem. We'll just go out on the street to make a few quick arrests and shake down some trees, and then case closed, and we're all back to our day jobs, right?
No.
But Nolte knows this. He knows this that ain't gonna do shit. And it's like suggesting, you know, like that they should that the way this task force should do it should be, you know, like long operation wiretaps, undercover, working the case from behind the scenes, you know, gathering evidence before they move into prosecution, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it's all, like leading up to. That like eventually Reddick's gonna see that, like that these kind of like methods, like being hard ass, shake people down, sweat people in interrogation rooms, that's not going to work for a crew like the Barkdale crew.
No, no.
Right, especially not when you saw the end there, where they just fucking iced that guy that pointed the finger in the courtroom. Right, you saw that, right?
Yeah, and that's probably because of that like
Yeah,
that's what's so brilliant about that last scene.
yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah.
shows
It
that we have here to deal with a crew that does not shy away of just liquidating a fucking high level representative of the law or a witness or anything.
Yeah,
So yeah.
they have no disregard for it at all, and like this is like a perfectly connects to what Idris Elba's character Stringer said said to Barksdale, like the guy that they got off the murder charge earlier, that that it's not about the money, it's about the message. So by choosing to have this guy killed in the end there, then like that sends a clear message to everyone that that was like thinking about messing with them, that like, yeah, this is what happens if you talk or you try to do anything. Right. So like keeping the reins on the crew there, right? So yeah, a beautiful put show. So eventually, like we're going to see what I said there, that Reddick's wrong, and that you can't go at it this way, and eventually they're all going to be up on the wire. Right. Right.
Damn.
Damn.
There we get the symbolism there.
There we
of
get
the
the
title.
yeah, there we get the symbolism, right? Oh man. So yeah, like I again like such a beautiful put show, and so many A-listers that has gone through it. So like like what's your thoughts on it?
No, I was just thinking more of this metaphor, the wire.
Yeah.
That like it could also mean like barbed wire that
Yeah.
separates the upper class good guy law abiding side of the law, or yeah, like the good side of the law from the bad guy, from the criminals. Like we have this strict this parallel thing that is a barbed wire. But of course, it could also mean the wire tapping.
Yeah, because they say it,
Yeah.
like they say it later when they're
It has
referencing what they're doing, right? And like they're up on the wire, right?
yeah. But I suppose it can have many more meanings, is that? And that's the beautiful thing of
Yeah,
a show like that.
yeah.
That you can have a metaphor that stands for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like I also like the fact when we were seeing like this big shot Stringer played by Idris Elba, how he adapts, like choosing what he wears on where he's going to be. If he's going to be in the courtroom, then it's full on suit. If he's going to be on the copy shop, the copy shop that he owns, then it is. Then what was it that he was wearing? Nerd glasses and a shirt. Nerd glasses and a white shirt. And if he's up in the towers or up in Hood or Project or something, then it's all like a hood shirt and track pants. Adidas track pants and sneakers.
And we have a little bit about the same of that actually in one of the very newest shows that we also follow, Better Call Saul, where Jimmy is also adapting to when he's got to sell the drop phones to his clients,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then he also pulls on these jogging pants to look more like a criminal in order
yeah,
to sell to his clientele.
yeah.
So
Like
yeah, that's
blending in.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful way to also maybe they were even inspired by The Wire, you know,
yeah. Maybe,
by
maybe,
Idris Elba's character.
maybe.
I don't
It,
know, but
it,
yeah,
it is also the same in The Sopranos, especially with Tony, because like he chooses also like what to wear. But for Tony in The Sopranos, it seems to be just at random, just at random. Like one day it seems that he can go out and hang with his guys and wear a tracksuit. Another guy he's going to be wearing seeing the same guys at the same place and then wearing a full on suit.
mm,
Uh, Yeah, but yeah, that was like some beautiful put. You know, like that they put so much thought in the show. I can't get behind it. You know, and we're also seeing the perspective from a couple of junkies. You know,
yeah.
that is like that they're fiends to this drug and coming there to get their fix, and then ending up getting beat up over it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
Again,
mean, still not on the level of Breaking Bad, in my opinion,
no,
but
not
it's
yet, not yet,
but it's
not yet. It is, but you'll see. You'll get there. Again, man. Like the thing, like with Breaking Bad, is that it's only taking like a perspective from Walter White. We don't really
yeah.
see it from so many other sides, right? And that is where Breaking Bad is flawed.
No, no, no. I disagree. Actually, I disagree. Sure, we have the. I mean, we have the focus on Walter White, but we also the like the show also has the no. Actually, I would scratch that. We have the perspective of Walter White, but we also have the focus on a lot of these other characters. I mean, we see a lot more of Jesse's character than we would see in a movie. Not El Camino, because El Camino actually focuses on the perspective of Jesse, whereas or for instance Hank's character, we have an entire focus as well on Hank and Marie's home, which you would not get in a movie. um, and this is probably best represented by if you look at El Camino. We have the perspective on Jesse's character, but we don't have a focus on his parent because there's no time for that. But in Breaking Bad, we have a focus on Hank and Marie because there's time for that because it's a TV show. So no, yeah, I actually disagree with that. That we only have to focus on Walter White because it is a TV show and we do have multiple focus points. But I get what you're saying that it is mostly focused on Walter.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, like again, like The Wire is also about real life issues, and
mm,
it's not a coincidence that they have like chosen Baltimore for the show, because a lot of the show has been like loosely based off high school teacher and a former homicide detective that worked in Baltimore and their
yeah.
experiences, right?
Well,
And how they perceived
yeah.
it.
I mean, on that note, you could say that The Wire is probably
And then
a little ahead on Breaking Bad if you're talking realism,
and
like
then
based on true stuff.
and
Um,
then you also have like what
but
we also
then
saw.
again, with The Wire, I still feel like it's mostly just that you're. It's a cliche in that matter that it is just your average typical crime, like a police drama, FBI and detective drama, like you've seen in 1,000 other shows before. But
Yeah,
what The
but
Wire does better, though, is that we also see the other side of it. I like in Breaking Bad as
yeah,
well. You also have the bad guy side.
but they're also
focus is
diving
there.
they're also diving deep into the red tape that surrounds real cases like this. Because as you're going to see when you follow the show, is that it is not as easy to prosecute a drug dealer as you would think. And
No,
especially when you're like having the
but
district.
that goes the same for the Pablo Escobar case, which there are also made a lot of documentaries and fictional TV shows about, and that also goes into that.
Yeah,
So
but that was in Colombia though.
yeah,
Things
but it's
works
still the
differently in
same thing.
Colombia.
It's
Yeah, yeah, same
still the
thing.
same
Yeah.
thing.
But
Um,
anyways, and then it also showed loosely, when we saw this kid that had just been cut loose for the murder of on this trial, then he's sitting in the strip club, and you see this war on terror on television,
yeah.
in the strip club, and also notice like visiting the FBI offices. Then they are also like talking about the war on terror and that a lot of the FBI resources are now being diverted onto that. So they have to close down cases,
Yeah.
right?
So
And
yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're
this is
what.
something that actually happened, right?
Yeah.
That from the war on terror was declared, then and they went to war in Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff. Then there was several years where drug dealers like this had free roam since the reins of the FBI was released.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
So
in that aspect, I think it's a great show,
that
and
makes a good point. But another thing is like what Better Call Saul does better than Breaking Bad is that that's actually based much more on a real life Saul Goodman, which there's actually a video on YouTube that you could check out.
yeah,
It's called The Real Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. You should watch it. It's like half an hour documentary from Vice channel Vice. That's going into some dude who is literally the real life Saul Goodman, and so yeah. But I assume it's also much easier to make a real life version of Better Call Saul than it is of uh, of Breaking Bad, because Breaking Bad, Walter White's character is so, what call it, so
unpredictable.
uh, yeah, unpredictable, but also I'm searching for the right word here. Uh, Delusional, no, power greedy, um,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that power greediness of his character is just too much for the real world. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are that, yeah, that strive for that much.
yeah,
I mean, at least not normal people.
yeah,
Maybe Donald Trump, but I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
But
Um,
yeah, you should check that out after the pod.
yeah, I will. How long are we on for? We're on already on 33 minutes. Damn. Um, but yeah, man. So you did like the show. I am hoping as you continue to watch The Wire that it will fetch your interest because it is truly a marvel. It really is. Regarding where it leads, where it ends, the message it is sending, etc. I'm sorry for saying etc.
Hmm.
I should try and avoid that word. But yeah, the
Why?
message, I don't know,
Why?
because it's lazy to not say like exactly what you mean instead of just ending it with just a lazy thing like etc. I was
No,
just
I
down.
disagree. I completely disagree.
I was
In
just down
our
at the
in a
store,
world
etc.
that has so much shit to deal with, and where one subject is closely connected to another subject, and that subject is connected to another subject, and you can keep going and keep going and keep going. like fuck and be all
Oh
then
yeah, yeah. Well,
then
okay.
it is actually much more stylish to say etc.
Yeah,
Because then you, if you are interested, then you can go into that subject and read more about it, and that's what etc. means. Not literally. I don't know the Latin. I don't know. I could Google that.
yeah. Don't sweat it. But
Yeah, you Google that yourselves, guys. What etc.
yeah,
means if you're interested in it. It just means for our sakes right now. It just means and so on.
yeah.
So yeah.
So it is safe to say then that you did that did the show capture your interest?
Yeah, like definitely I like the character, the bald guy. What's his name?
The bald guy,
Yeah, the little bald guy.
the little bald. Oh yeah, yeah. I know that. Yeah, he is slightly. That was like Barksdale's cousin, right? You're talking about the guy that was on trial, right? That got cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Barksdale's cousin, Avon Barksdale's cousin, in the show.
Yeah. Because
But,
he seems to be quite. I like his character because, and I like characters like this because he's on a he's on a tipping point almost. He
yeah,
doesn't he's very unsteady in that environment, and he feels like he doesn't know where he has these people that he's working with, because he's obviously a lot smarter than them, but he's just been thrown into it because of whatever is going to happen in the
yeah,
next.
like he comes with a quote later in the show, where he's like explaining this drug game to Ronnie Moe or or Michael B. Jordan's character or something later, where he says where he says it is kind of like chess, right? Except that in the real world, then it is like pawns will always be pawns and kings will always stay kings.
Yeah,
Meaning that like these kids,
until
yeah,
until they queen.
yeah, until the
if
queen,
I may use
yeah,
if I may use the chess metaphor here, unless they get to the eighth rank and become a queen in
yeah,
chess.
yeah, right. But yeah, but the thing is like they don't, right? Most of them stay like Ronnie Mo and something,
Yeah,
and you know
and
like
most
what,
of them, most.
yeah, and what they don't understand is that the people like Stringer and A1, they don't give a shit about them.
No.
Not at all, right? They give a shit about the money coming in. They give a shit about the money coming in, and that they look strong, so that you know they can maintain the power over the city. That's all they care about. Um, and you know, and that's the thing, right? And yeah, the Barksdale there is like a little, the bald guy is like a little more intellectual in that because he knows this, and that's why he's so torn between it, right? Especially like when he's like seeing how shit's
But
going
do
down.
we go into to Stride to what's his name, Strider's
Stringer, yeah.
yeah, Stringer's backstory in the later episodes?
No, actually, like that's some very, because like we seem to you know like be getting just as much information about him as the police have, right?
Yeah, that's
So
bad though,
yeah, so we
because that's what I want to see. I want to know where the fuck he is coming from,
like
like
he's
we get with Walter White, and
like they
as we
are
what we even get with with Gustavo Fring. Fuck man, we even have a focus on Gustavo Fring, even though he is just a side character. He's not even the bad. He's not even like Hank Schrader, who's in quotation marks the bad guy or the anti-bad guy or whatever you
yeah
want to call it. We also have a focus on Gus, and
yeah.
we also get his background.
Now
But
we get like something because like we do see you know like Avon and Stringer reminiscing about
Yeah.
how they took power over the city, because
Yeah.
they have, like, like most other people, just been like a couple of bangers working for somebody, right, dealing and
Yeah.
biding their time till the right moment came. And I don't know, don't quote me on this, but then they must have like killed or somehow either framed or killed, the man that was there before them, right? And taking his spot, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
king assassinate king and takes the place, right? So it's something like that, because and it's also like fairly new, since we hear the police saying, like that they have had the towers for a year or over a year, but that's it. So up
Yeah.
until that a year ago, then they must have like been nothing, but then taken, like control over the city, abiding their time. Um, and that's it, I guess. Because I don't think that you work your way up to what they had. They must have, like, like killed somebody for the territories at least. So yeah, I think like that's the kind of like backstory there. Um, but yeah, still interesting to follow them, also because Stringer and Avon has two different perspectives for the future, right? I don't know, like it was like kind of there, like at least in the shadows when they were in the strip club talking, but it will like come later as you watch the next episodes, that Stringer kind of like, like just wants to, like grab as much money from this drug game as possible, take it, and go legit by building a real estate empire, right?
Yeah.
That's his plan. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's Stringer's
yeah,
plan.
that's Stringer's plan. But Avon, Avon is not going along with this plan, because like for him, like you saw, like like he's playing the game like he's already lost. Like he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck, and because he thinks that, like, you can't win the dope game ever, because again, like this, that you can't plan with contingency. So if you can't plan with if you can't plan for contingency, then why give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then he'll see something, like a Stringer trying to convince him, but he'll just be like, fuck that, bro, or fuck that, homie, like that's your dreams, not mine. Right.
Yeah.
And like this is something that really is going to tear on Stringer's heart, because like he wants to look out for his homie, right? But
Yeah.
how can you look out for somebody that is irrational, believing that he's already lost, and don't is not thinking clearly, because Avon is sure as shit not thinking clearly, especially later, because like like he won't think twice about like killing somebody, or just doing some gangbanger shit, right? That's ultimately going to either land him in prison or dead, right?
Yeah.
um and that's that. And then again, you have this with contingency, because we are also going to see um, rival crews going to move in on the territory, right?
Yeah.
As when you have a nice pie, then everybody wants a piece of the pie, right? Everybody wants a slice.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like again, like a great show, because like it's all going to come back together, right? It's all gonna come together, and you'll see why this is the greatest show on earth.
Yeah. Not sure if I agree on that. But I'm still thinking Better Call Saul is miles ahead. Oh,
Yeah.
and Breaking Bad, of course.
All right, man.
Because it's not like these shows are not your not your typical detective bullshit. Uh, with I don't know, man. Maybe there's going to come more focus on the drug empire and that shit, but I don't know, man.
Man, like I see that we are like, disagreeing on like what's a great show, because for me, a great show is an
How
epic.
many times have you watched The Wife?
This will be my fourth time,
Yeah.
right? But here's the thing, man. You know, like for me, like good fucking show is this cop bad guy shows, like real old school detective bad guy detective stories.
Yeah.
Right, like that's because there's something about that.
So the very yeah, I mean yeah, I get that. I mean
Yeah,
there's a reason why it's a cliche because that is the it is always fascinating to see a fucking cop chase a bad guy.
yeah,
But for me like this is just you have seen it or
it's
I've seen
it's
it a
not.
thousand times before. And so like there's not much new in it.
But
You know?
it's about the chase. You know, it's not about them
Yeah.
getting him or not. It's getting the bad guy or not. It's about the chase, and you know, like and how smart the adversary is, and you know, like how much
No,
back and
yeah,
forth you're going, right?
I get that. I mean, in Breaking Bad, the cops also catch Walter at the end. So in that regard, it's not no different.
Well,
But
well,
Breaking Bad is much different in the sense that it is.
to be clear though, they don't capture Walter. They find him dead.
No, they capture him. They capture him.
No, they find him dead.
Yeah, but that's just a definition of terminology, though.
He's laying
Like,
dead on the ground.
yeah, but you can also capture something that's dead.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
You're
you
either
can.
capture. It's why this is why you call it in the military kill or capture.
Should we search for a definition for capture?
Yeah, kill or
Let's have a
capture.
look. Capture definition or meaning. Take into one's possession or control by force. Yeah, can't you do that with dead things too?
No.
Yeah, I think
No.
you can.
All right. Let's just agree on disagreeing.
I mean,
Uh,
if I let's yeah, if I fucking capture a dead wolf, isn't that in my possession or control by my force?
I suppose so.
Yeah, I
Um,
suppose so too.
well, you know, like thanks for joining the podcast today, Troy. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
I don't
my
know when this is
pleasure.
going to be uploaded, but again, like I thank you all for listening and for the love of God and the universe and all the other bullshit things you guys believe in. Then subscribe. Thanks. Okay, ending the podcast in 3, 2, 1, there.